Welcome back to Learn SKN, and today we're going to be looking at office administration. So this is going to be the first video in our lectures for office administration. So this is one of the newest subjects we're going to be adding to the list of subjects that we have here on Learn SKN, and so eventually we'll become maybe the business hub minus accounts. I ain't taking on no accounts. I can't take on accounts. So that will not be happening here. No accounts for sure. So again, we'll be looking at our POB, our ECON for CSEC, our office administration. We're going to look at some MOB for CAPE. Eventually, maybe looking at ECON for CAPE, but if the demand is high enough, yes. But I don't think it might be high enough, so you might not venture there. So apart from those business subjects, we're going to also be looking at some agricultural science. And so today is our first video for OA, so let's just jump right into it one time. So we have the syllabus here before us, and you know what to do before we continue. Like and subscribe to the channel. So we're here looking at the syllabus for OA, and the first thing they're asking us to do is describe the role and functions of the office in business activities. And so I always encourage students to get your syllabus from CSEC, any syllabus, and use them to study, right? Sometimes the syllabus will give you some ideas, some clues as to what you need to cover. Sometimes you go straight to the answers. Look at this, for example. Role and function of the office is in keeping with its mission, commitment, vision, the means, the how, the goals, measurable objectives, etc. Look at it right here. 1. Production, distribution, and exchange of goods and services. Function right there, right? Not textbook, anything. Function is right there. Collection, processing, storage, and preservation of data. Dissemination of information, and organizational management and legal control. So right there you have it. But of course, that's just, some line items right there. Something you might want to go a little bit more in depth, and so we'll dig a little deeper into the rest. So from our textbook, we're looking at here the functions of the office. The office is considered as the center of any business, whether large or small. It provides invaluable services to other members of the organization. Functions of the office include production, distribution and exchange of goods and services, collection, processing and preservation of information, dissemination of information, organizational and legal control. And so those are the functions of the office. And we can see how the office can engage in production, especially if we are dealing with a service, a business that renders a service. Of course, more time than not, the office is the first touch point for such an organization. And even if it's a tangible good or service, of course you need the office to house all the people, all your resources, so that you can engage proper in production. Distribution and exchange of goods and services. Naturally, you go to the office of any company, any business to get this thing sorted out. So if you want to exchange goods or services, you go to the office. That's where the connections are made, and that's where the plans are made, are implemented to get the distribution for certain goods and services. Collection, processing, and preservation of information. Again, this goes without saying. If you want to start a business and you're looking for information, the office is the first place. So whether this is modern times now, so you have virtual offices now, so it's not just a physical place only, right? So either way, if you log on to someone's business or whatever, there's a virtual office, and it does the same thing. You collect the data, you process the data, you preserve the data. Dissemination of information. If you want to know about something, about a company, more than likely you're going to call where? The office. And the office should have the information you need, so they can tell you what you are looking for. They can tell you what is happening. They can tell you about your product. So dissemination of information, getting information from, that's what they call something they call certain areas the front office. Because sometimes the front office is the first touch point for the general public and that organization. And so that office should be able to disseminate whatever information the company wants to let go. Organizational and legal control. So if you have a company, a partnership, a legal a private limited, public, whatever the company is, the organization is. Remember, in the eyes of the law, some organizations are viewed as a person, right? They are viewed as a legal entity. And so the office would be that, should I say, that conduit, that link that brings all this thing together. The office is where you're looking at, let's say, for example, location, premises. Wherever the head office is would also be the main location of that business. And so legally you have to register the business, including location and things like that. And the office will represent that head, where you can get in contact, you can understand the structure and everything of that particular organization. Right? The office is key for the dissemination of information. And so we have some examples right here. Case 1, a small business. Bob's Joinery is a sole trader business owned by Bob Scarlett. Bob and his small staff of 5 employees produce furniture such as tables, chairs, and dressers. All activities related to Bob's business are carried out at the workshop. The office at Bob's Joinery will carry out the function of production by creating the various types of furniture. The production process would look like the following. So, input raw materials, lumber, glue, nails, varnish, process, carving, turning, assembling, spraying, upholstering. Output, finished good, table, chair. The joinery's office will also be involved in distribution and exchange of the goods and service. Bob and his staff will be responsible for selling the goods and collecting payment in return, as well as arranging for the distribution of the finished furniture to their customers. So you can see how the office is crucial. What if there was no office? What if Bob was just some man out there in a field just trying to build furniture? No phone, no internet, no way to reach the customers. How do you even get customers? You need an office to be that point where you do all of the following, where you carry out production, distribution of and exchange of goods and services. Because imagine you make the furniture, you have to sell it, you have to get it to the people. The collection process, right? Collection, processing, and preservation of information. They are your customers. You have to collect their name, their location, those kind of information, right? You have to collect, and of course, if you are wise enough, you save the information for later on. Let's say you have a warranty on the furniture. You need to know who you sold it to, when, what was sold, that kind of information. So that in case a leg break or something, they can call up and say, whatever happened, and you have that information at hand. Dissemination of information. How are you going to know? How are they going to know when to come and collect their furniture? So, of course, the office call and say, hey, Bob, Susie, this is Bob Joinery. Your chair is ready. Or whatever is ready. You can come and collect between this time and that time of opening hours. Right? So even that, opening hours, is a way of disseminating information. Organizational and legal control, as you can see, we said, Bob is a sole trader. And so Bob's premises would be his area of production and also his office. And so the office would act right there to show, okay, Bob is a sole trader. Let's say you had an office in St. Kitts and you had an office in, let's say, Antigua or in America or somewhere. Then that might not really represent the true picture of what a sole trader might be. It might be a multinational appointee or something like that, right? Or a franchise or something like that, based on the structure of the overall legal structure of the business. But we're saying here is that because you have one main office, that can give a clue as to what type of business it is, give an idea of the organizational structure and control of that business. If you had multiple offices, then you might need an office manager for 1, 2, 3 different places. So that would affect your organizational structure, might even impact your legal structure, right? So all of these are ways you can look at the functions of the office. Let's look at case 2, a large business. Universal Beverages is a large organization that manufactures canned soda pop. Long time many people use the word soda pop. Universal Beverages has a general office in addition to other functional areas and departments. Universal Beverages offices carries out the functions of collecting, processing, protecting information. The office can collect information, for example, if customers send inquiries about the price of products, or if a customer places an order for goods. The office can process the information collected by acting upon it. In this case, ensuring that the order is received by the sales department. The office is also responsible for preserving or storing information, which can be done in the filing cabinets or on microfilms, the old book, man. Compact disc, okay, so you can store information on computers, right, in the cloud or wherever, in databases, etc., right? So the whole idea is that you're storing the data, storing information for later use. Universal Beverages will also disseminate information. This means spreading or giving out information. The office will be providing information to customers, for example, providing the price of the product to the customer who made an inquiry. Information can also be provided to other workers within the organization. So in that little paragraph right there, you see all of the functions coming out of the office. Right? You see all the functions coming out of the office. See what it says here. It's a large business. Universal Beverage is a large organization that the manufacturers can soda pop. It has a general office in addition to other functional areas and departments. So one time they could tell, okay, this might not be a sole trader. Might not. Right? But don't get me wrong. There's some large sole trader, because a sole trader simply means you own and operate it by yourself. Right? Not operate it by yourself, but you own it. You own it by yourself. Right? You own it by yourself. But this here, a large organization, sounds like it's owned maybe by shareholders. And so this might be a private or public limited company. You can tell by the arrangement. And because they have multiple offices, a main one plus others, you can tell the legal structure and the organizational structure. Clearly, they would have managers for this branch, that branch, main office, that kind of thing. Right? Just by the fact that they have multiple offices around the place, you can tell that you can tell the organizational structure in a sense, or the legal structure. So here we have some examples here. Storage of information. Computer and hard drives is the main thing nowadays. Nobody taking on no microfilm and compact disc and those kind of things. That's a way of the past, right? So those are some of the functions of the office. Okay, so we're going to look at the functional areas and departments, and then we'll study for this video. So the functional areas and departments. Functional areas. So if you did POB, you know that there are some key functional areas of a business, right? Many medium-sized and large firms are organized based on functional areas or departments. Some common departments that exist in businesses are shown below. So these are just introduction to these here, so you get familiar with these things. So purchasing department, of course, you could tell what the department might be doing. This department is responsible for collecting and processing purchase requisitions, obtaining catalogs and price lists from potential suppliers, receiving and checking deliveries, keeping stock of records. So the purchasing department is one of those functional areas. Then we have HR, or the personnel department. The duties of the department includes advertising vacancies, processing job application forms, arranging and conducting interviews, creating job descriptions and job specifications, keeping employee records up to date, addressing staff welfare issues, for example, health and safety. And so that's the HR. So HR is basically responsible for hiring, training, keeping them up to date, keeping their records up to date, all those advertising, the vacancies, all those things around the human resource in that organization. So, welfare, you have an issue, you go to HR. Anybody, health issue, safety issue, HR deals with that. Records, sick leave, vacation, all those things, HR deals with that. Conducting interviews, or arranging for the conducting of interviews, because maybe the managers want to conduct it themselves. But you might want an HR person there just in case you want to ensure that you have your bases covered in terms of that interview. And so that's the main job of the HR department. Finance, accounting department. This department is responsible for preparing financial records, financial statements, preparing checks for creditors, organizing payroll, preparing budget and final accounts, for example, balance sheet. So I think, but you can just see by the name what they are responsible for, right? Preparing financial statements, preparing checks for creditors, preparing payroll, preparing budget and final accounts. So of course, the financial department will tell you how we're earning the money, how we're spending the money, how much money we have left, and stuff like that. Sales and marketing department, the duties of this department includes conducting market research, handling inquiries from potential customers, processing orders, preparing advertising and promotional material, handling consumer complaints, sales and marketing. And in administrative now, something that might be close to you guys in OA, right? This department provides support services to the entire organization. This includes desktop publishing, word processing, mail handling, cleric services, reprographics, making copies of an original document. So a lot of these roles would adjust, or as technology comes into play, you realize that these roles become more digital, and so you have to be more computer savvy. You have to understand what's happening. Some of these equipment that they are using today are so smart. They have smart everything now. Smart photocopier, smart scanner, everything all in one little package. You have to learn to master all of these things. Mail comes into the organization, you have to handle these things. You have to type whatever memo, you have to type whatever letter, whatever correspondence. These are the kind of things that the administrative staff would have to handle. Okay, the IT department, or the computer service department. Because of the rise in the use of computers in the business, many large firms, for example, airlines, may find it necessary to have a computer service department. You just call it IT department, right? The duties of this department includes managing the business computer network, repairing hardware, software, and network problems, training staff on the proper use of software and hardware. Many of these departments will be discussed in more detail later in this book. So of course, IT is a big part of any department now. And of course, you might have R&D in some larger firms. R&D, research and development, that's the next area. You might have legal, right? Some of them large enough to have their own legal department. So I guess based on the size of the firm, then you have different functional areas. Alright, so that's it for the opening lecture on OA. What we're going to look at next time is the organizational structure. So basically we covered objective 1, looking at the functions of the office in business activities. And then we kind of touch on the different functional areas of the business. Now next time we're going to be looking at describe how the office structure and activity may be organized according to characteristics of the business. And so we're going to touch everything and then lead up to the organizational structure and things like that. Types of offices, ergonomics of the office, etc, etc. Alright, so if you want to see the next video on OA, give this video a thumbs up, like, that's a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you know when Learn SKN drops another video for OA. Alright, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening.